Can we listen? Do what you gotta do. You got to make that change. Do what you gotta do. Yeah. You got to make that change. Do what you gotta do. You got to make that change. Take that weight off your back. You got to make that change and do what's right for you. You got to make that change. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Yeah. You got to make that change and do what you gotta do. You cannot be afraid. Gotta take a chance. You might be right or wrong, but that's what life's all about. To make that change, do what you gotta do. You got to make that change. Do what you gotta do. Woo! Got to make that change. make that change. You got to make that change. Do what you gotta do. You got to make that change. Yeah. And do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. You got to make that change. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. You got to make that change. Do what you gotta do. Just do it. You can do it.
And hello, dear ones. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving, prospering community in the heart of Capitol Hill and here online. And I'm your announcement guy. Now, normally I know you see a fun video, professionally made, all kinds of cool stuff happening. Today, you get me. Isn't that fun? And we want to invite you to become a part of this community and to join in our community. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Sundays, we do this. Sundays, we also have our Zoom fellowship. Right after today's service, give us a break to go hit the bathroom and come back. Right after today's service, we have our Zoom fellowship in our Zoom room. If you have a link from a previous experience, use that. If not, send a quick email over to info@csldenver.org. We'll have somebody send you a link before today's service is complete. Also, do remember that our practitioners are here to pray with you. This is a robust body of folks that are specifically trained to support you in your spiritual growth and your spiritual journey. Whether you have something you're working with and you'd like changed in your life, something that you're not sure about in your life, or you'd like to share one of the wins that's going on in your life, please reach out to one of our practitioners. Again, send an email, info@csldenver.org, and we'll make sure that we get you. And you can send your prayer requests there as well, and we'll do that. Now, we have a special guest for you today, and something really special, actually. We were just on the line with Reverend Elzia, and he's actually in Oakland, California today, which is a great experience because our guest speaker today is from Oakland. Don't you love how Spirit works? After one more piece of music and some prayer, and a little bit later in our service, Reverend D. Jacquelyn Edwards is going to be with us. She's an ordained minister with the Center for Spiritual Living and began her study of religious science in the late 1970s. She's worked with, was mentored by Dr. Ernie Forks and also by Reverend Dr. Eloise Oliver. She's now at the East Bay Church of Religious Science in Oakland, California, and currently serving as the Community and Civic Engagement Staff Minister. She has served CSL in numerous capacities over the years as a senior minister, founding member and past chair of the CSL Diversity and Inclusion Commission, as a member of the Nominating Council, and as an instructor at Holmes Institute, our ministerial education program. She's currently a member of the CSL Spiritually Motivated, Socially Engaged Committee, and they're doing great work. She's been featured recently in the Honoring Freedom program that Reverend Elzia was a part of last weekend as well. And Reverend Jacquelyn supports the CSL vision of creating a world that works for everyone through her personal vision of creating a world in which everyone has the opportunity to thrive. We're incredibly excited she's going to be with us in just a little while. Before we get to that, though, we are going to share another piece of music here by our own Dr. Freddie Rodriguez. And I love this. I wanted to share this with you. When we were backstage before our program today, Reverend Jacquelyn came in and she said, a friend of hers told her that she heard she was going to be speaking at Denver and said, "Oh my God, you are so lucky because they have Freddie Rodriguez Jr." So we're pretty excited to share Freddie and his music with you as well. This is called "To Be Free." And I want to make sure we started at the beginning. Enjoy.
God wants us to be free, to be one with it. Just follow that stream and be free in the sea, the sea. He wants our trust so he can lead. It's such a must to see, believe, believe. God wants us to be free, to be one with thee. Just follow that stream and be free in the sea, the sea. I have a dream, said the King. The glory of the Lord shall be revealed. His hope of equality, equality. God wants us to be free, to be one with me. Just follow that stream and be free in the sea, the sea. God wants us to be free, to be one with thee. Just follow that stream and be free in the sea. God wants us to be free and be one with thee. Just follow that stream to be free in the sea, the sea.
Good morning, everyone. It's time for our invocation for the service. So just close your eyes if it feels comfortable and know that the one mind, the one cause, the oneness of all is in this space here and now. It is always becoming, always unfolding, and envelops all of us in an incredible space of love. And we invite into that space the light of spirit. And we invite into that space the healing energy that is present for all of those in Miami, for all of those that are affected by COVID, and for all of the other challenges that are on the planet. And we bless this space this morning. We bless our community. We bless the message, and we bless the music and all that is going on in the background for us, like the volunteers, to have this service become available for you all. And so we just say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for us being able to be together this morning and for the energy that is available to all of us. And so it is. So our reading this morning comes from 7,000 Ways to Listen from Mark Nemo. But initially, I wanted to share a little stanza from Fiona Apple's, who's a musician, and she wrote the song Container. She says in the song, I have only one thing to do, and that's be the wave that I am and sink back into the ocean. And then Mark Nemo writes, in Japanese mythology, the crane becomes immortal at the age of 2000, when it is done being a crane. And the tortoise becomes immortal at the age of 10,000, when it starts becoming a wave again in the ocean. So perhaps the purpose of experience is to wear us free of our names, of our masks, and to rediscover our soul. Perhaps underneath all the distinctions we can imagine, all spiritual paths are one, all philosophies are one, all occupations and passions are one. Perhaps all our ambitions and desires are like different cups dipping into the same well at the center. And every name, every praise and blame is such a cup, each holding the same sweet water. Perhaps it doesn't matter what carries us to and from that well, but only that we drink. Could experience be for humans what erosion is for the elements? Is the purpose of experience over a lifetime to carry us to what matters and then wear us away till we become part of the sweet water the next generation drinks? If this is so, then what is the work of being human? There is no tangible answer any more than we can ask fire why it burns. But like a crane flying steadily till its wings disappear, or a tortoise swimming mightily till its shell wears away, we can live our way into knowing. And Ernest Holmes says, since each soul is some part of the whole, it is impossible that any soul can be lost. No one can rob us of our soul, as our spirit is already one with the internal goodness. You are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. And so it is. And here we are again, having the opportunity to hear from Freddie with Open My Eyes.
Open my eyes, make my dreams reality. And with change I think we can't make it, and the souls I think can't take it. I'm just trying to make you shout out, make this whole world sound out. We open our eyes, yeah. Beautiful sunrise rays on my head. Yesterday's gone, today is my friend. The new moon still shines in the clear sky. Oh, open my eyes, make my dreams reality. And with change I think we can make it, and the souls I think can take it. I'm just trying to make you shout out, make this whole world sound out. We open our eyes, yeah. Try to have faith, blue skies ahead. Keep my thoughts clear with no fear. Life can be good if I lose these blues. Whoa, we open our eyes, make our dreams reality. Yeah. And with change, I think we can make it. And our souls, I think, can't take it. I'm just trying to make you shout out, make this whole world sound out. We open our eyes, yeah. The new moon still shines in the clear sky. Oh, we open our eyes, make our dreams reality. Yeah, and with change, I think we can't make it. And our souls, I think, can't take it. I'm just trying to make you shout out, make this whole world sound out. We open our eyes, yeah. We open our eyes, make our dreams reality. And with change, I think we can make it. And our souls, I think, can't take it. I'm just trying to make you shout out, make this whole world sound out. We open our eyes, yeah. We open our eyes, yeah. Come on, open our eyes, yeah. One more time, we open our eyes.
Namaste. Open our eyes. Open our eyes. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for that. That was wonderful. And hello, CSL Denver, Colorado. I am Reverend D. Jacquelyn Edwards, and I am just delighted to be here with you this morning. So I like to start everything, and I'm going to actually suggest that you do the same at some point. I like to start everything with prayer. And so if you will join me in just taking a deep breath in, and just relax, let go into this place where I, D. Jacquelyn Edwards, speak this word on behalf of myself and everyone listening in the moment, everyone participating now or later through watching the video, knowing that there is only one of us here, and I call that one God, knowing that the divine shines through, shows up in, as, and through each one of us, taking very, very seriously the idea, the concept that the only way that the divine has to express itself is through all of life. And so I declare that this conversation, this interaction, this expression and experience that we have here this morning is good and very good. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, Ashe, Amen, Amin, Aho. And so it is. Hi, how are you? I am really excited to be here. If you get a chance to touch bases with Alice, you can ask her and she'll share with you that we've been trying to do this for a minute. And so it is with a sense of, yes, here we are together, that we are meeting and greeting today. I want to express gratitude to Reverend Elzia, my friend, my comrade, my colleague, my partner on this path that we call creating a world that works for everyone. I want to give a thank you and a shout out to Alice Nutter for her coordination of it. In every community, there are those individuals that make sure that everybody gets to know what they need to know, that makes all the connections. And I am grateful that I got to meet Alice this morning, and I'm grateful that you all have her as a part of your community. June 2021, what a fabulous month this has been. We have had Father's Day this month. We got to celebrate just last weekend the wonderful masculine face of God. And I always invite us to remember when we're talking the masculine and or the feminine face of God, that both the masculine and the feminine expression exist within all of us, and that the expression of that varies by what we're doing and or our gender representation. And it's Pride Month. June is Pride Month. It is the opportunity that we have to be reminded that we get to put our actions and our intentions behind what we may or may not have done legally, right? So what typically happens is that there is such disruption, such upset, such impropriety. Let's call a thing. Such impropriety going on in the world, or in our particular world here in the United States, that we make some laws. And then after the laws that are made that dictate equity for everyone, we then have the opportunity to practice what we are preaching. We have the opportunity to practice what we say we believe. And we're going to talk a lot about that today, practicing what we say we believe. We had Juneteenth, which just perfectly coincided with the federal government declaring Juneteenth as a federal holiday. Juneteenth is the celebration of the emancipation, the freedom of enslaved people in the United States. Next day, June 21st, summer started. Now, I know we can't tell that by the weather in all of the various places that we are, but it is officially summer. And the piece that we get to wrap ourselves around, no matter what the weather is that we have these longer days. And so I invite us to consider that we get to use this extended amount of daylight to do extended amounts of good in the world. I'm saying so somewhat, I know officially we're out of the fullness of the COVID quarantine. We're no longer are being asked to sequester at home. The mask requirements are being lifted. We have much to celebrate with regard to I'm going to call it our progress along the road of getting COVID out of our day-to-day experience. June is a full month. On your website, or on the website of CSL Denver, there is this description of this community as being an intimate group of spiritual seekers. An intimate group. There's this idea of intimacy. That means that we know each other, we see each other, we recognize each other, we support each other. An intimate group of spiritual seekers. That means, or I'm taking that to mean, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong, I am taking that to mean that we are people who are anchored in and continuing to develop our understanding that we live in a spiritual universe. And that is really, really important to our conversation today, because what I am inviting us to do is to remember because I think that someplace in the core of who we are, we know that we absolutely are who we say we are. That is, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So if that is in fact what we believe, when we look at this topic of the soul's call to freedom, then we're invited to fall back on what we know. We are invited to allow ourselves again to remember, to recognize, to go to that place within where I know and know that I am absolutely one with the divine. So as I invite myself to do that, then I'm inviting myself to relax, to relax into the knowledge and the understanding that wherever I go, whatever I do, there is something that is both within me and also greater than me that's got me. I like to say, God's got me, Spirit's got me. That there is no place. We say, how is that? There's not a spot where God is not, which means then that I can live from that place. Again, I can take a breath. I can relax into that idea. This idea of the soul's call to freedom is coming off of our June theme of the soul's call. So when we are talking about the soul, we are talking about that part of ourselves, that part of our being that we like to say receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. Again, the soul receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. What does that mean? That means that what I'm thinking, what I'm most putting my focus on is what's manifesting. Now, some of this I may not be 100% conscious of, but there's a way for me to find out. All I have to do is look around in my life and in my life experience. My life experience reflects back to me that thought that I have impressed upon my soul. So the soul's call to freedom is requesting that the things that we put in, that our input into into the law, which is another word that's synonymous with the soul, that our conscious input into it is going to cause us to walk in and move in a direction that is going to support us and lift us up and living a magnificent life individually, as well as supporting whatever it is that we need to support for us to live magnificent lives collectively. Thus, we have Pride Month, where we get to in a more concentrated way, we get to put our attention on recognizing the freedom of everyone to live the life that they choose to live out loud, to love who they love, to be free, to live from a place of freedom. Thus, we have Juneteenth, we have the celebration of freedom of enslaved people in the United States. We have multiple opportunities to lean back on and into what we believe. Freedom, Ernest Holmes tells us, is the birthright of every individual. He goes on to say we are free to choose and create our experience of life. Freedom of will, we have freedom of will, means that we have the ability to do, say, and think as we wish. The ability to do, say, and think as we wish. The master teacher Jesus said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. We have freedom. Freedom is one of the, I'm going to call it, essential truths of our living. And we have to understand that freedom means liberty, but it does not mean license. We also say and teach that we believe in the complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Now, what is the path to that? What is the path to that goal being attained by all? I want to invite you to absolutely close your eyes for a moment and hear this one sentence. This is an abundant universe. Again, this is an abundant universe. Now, the corollary to that is that scarcity is a lie. This is an abundant universe. Scarcity is a lie. Now, why am I throwing this in the middle of our conversation about freedom? About the soul's call to freedom, because I believe that this idea of scarcity, which is one which we have been springboarding from in many areas of our private and public lives, that idea that there's not enough to go around, is really the undergirding to much of, all of it, much of the hostilities that we express and experience towards each other, much of the fear that undergirds some of the places, the ways that we walk through the world, and some of the places where we find ourselves. There is this idea that there's not enough. If we, however, cover that idea with the spiritual principle, we're talking about being spiritual people, being a spiritual community, then we recognize that abundance is the natural state of the universe. And when we shift our focus to that, then we also get to step out of duality and step into the idea that there is a unitive one force and power for good in the universe, and that we can use it. Now, I hear you saying, I know there's no duality in the universe. Well, do we? Do we know that there's no duality? Do we know that on Sundays or Wednesday night service, or when we're meeting with practitioners or counselors or spiritual advisors? Are those the times when we know it? Or do we know it 24/7, 365? Do we know it when we are at work and we have interesting interactions with the coworkers? Do we know it when we run into that special relative at the family reunion? Do we know it when we have a health concern? Do we know it with regard to our finances? Do we in those times understand that there is no duality? Do we then go into, when we have these encounters with these interesting experiences that I invite you to consider are here to grow us, do we open up our spiritual toolbox? Do we do what is necessary to bring us back to center, back to truth, back to the realization and recognition that indeed God is all there is, and God is the good to which there is no opposite? I invite us to consider that we have an opportunity to answer what the world is calling for right now, which is a call to conscious. It is a call to consciously knowing and living from and modeling and reaching out from the place of serious, strong, powerful awareness that this is an abundant universe and scarcity is a lie. Now, sometimes, in order to be in that fullness of understanding what is true and what is mine to do, because if I'm on the planet right now, if we're walking around, breathing right now in this time frame, we have a role to play in the evolution of the entire planet to its next greater yet to be. Okay, so there's not a question of whether or not you have something to do. If you're here, you have something to do. But sometimes I might have to take a time out. We call that be still and know. Sometimes I might have to just listen. Listen to that still, small, quiet voice within, as well as, and this is really important, listen to the one that I might want to or be tempted to call the other. I might have to just be quiet, close my eyes, listen and hear, not formulate a counterpoint, not come up with a reason why whatever it is that's being said in my presence, which again means that it's for me to hear, not do any of those kinds of things, but just listen. I might have to do that. I might have to do some deep listening. Sometimes I might have to go out from among them. I might have to be still and know and allow. Ernest Holmes invites us to consider that we know that the law, we're talking soul now, also, the law is a blind force. And we should be very careful to follow only a constructive course. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Justice is a spiritual principle. We are what the world has been waiting for. When we stand in and come from our spiritual principles, when we show unconditional love, we are doing our charge. We must make a commitment to living from spiritual principle in, through, and as every aspect of our individual and collective lives. Again, Ernest Holmes reminds us that we are bound by our freedom. We are all bound, tied hand and foot by our very freedom. But as free will creates the conditions which externally limit us, so it can uncreate or dissolve them. The universe cannot refuse us anything. Let us ask for that which is for the greater good of everyone on the planet. Thank you. And so, again, in this knowing, in this understanding that God is all there is, that there is nothing else, regardless of appearances, I know that each and every one of us is responding to the soul's call for freedom. I know and I declare that in and from our heart space, our love centers, we go out into the world and experience and express abundance as the natural order of things. That we experience and express abundance in all of our relationships. That we love out loud, and we love large. I know that we express abundance in our health, that we have healthy relationships, that we take care of our physical selves, that we nourish and nurture our bodies, that we exercise in the ways that our bodies call for exercise, that we are excellent stewards of this vessel in which we carry our spirits. I know that we experience abundance in all of our financial affairs. Somebody said that money flows freely and copiously from sources known and unknown. It is with a sense of gratitude, a humble sense of gratitude, that I release this prayer, this word, to the immutable, perfect, and impeccable law. That I release this word to my soul's satisfaction. That I release this word knowing that it is done and done well. And so it is. Ashe, amen, amen, aho. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Jacquelyn Edwards. That was beautiful. Really important reminders for us. Okay, so now is time for our offertory. We are so grateful and blessed for everyone's support of CSL Denver, whether it's in time, treasure, or talent, and especially during this time of change. Whether this is your first time joining us or you are a returning community participant, we want to thank you so much for your continuing financial support of the important work we are striving to provide. Right now, there are several ways you can make your financial contribution to Center for Spiritual Denver. This information is running along the bottom of the screen. If you haven't already done it and you shop at King Soopers or Amazon Smile, you can link your account to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver. Our center will then receive a percentage of all proceeds. Email us if you would like more information on this option. Now, please join me as I state our usual affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Reverend Jacquelyn. Beautiful talk. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to have you today, and we hope to have you back again. So I know we say it every week, but we really and truly mean it. Here at CSL Denver, we want you to know that we are here for you, to celebrate or hold space for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for prayer work with you, and we would love to pray with you for celebrations and challenges, whatever it. Prayer works for everything. Our names and phone numbers are on our website at www.csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, please email it to info@csldenver.org. And as mentioned at the beginning of the service by Reverend Robert, we are having our usual virtual fellowship on Zoom this morning, and we're trying to mix it up some at fellowship. So think about something funny that happened to you this week, or even another time in your life, and come to fellowship to share your answer with us. And let's just, let's have fellowship and be together and say hi to each other. So if you did not receive the Zoom invitation earlier this morning, please send an email to info@csldenver.org and mention fellowship, and we'll send you a Zoom invitation right away. And as Reverend Robert mentioned earlier also, our service is sponsored by, or we are sponsoring New Thought Media Network, and we love all that they've done for us with Reverend Robert Brzezinski and all of the things that they offer. They offer so many things. So go over to New Thought Media Network and see all of their different programs. They offer a Science of Mind and Spirit lecture series on the Science of Mind textbook. Reverend Elzia and Reverend Robert, among many of the ministers and practitioners who are doing these lectures. They are every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And you can also watch their, they record it so you can watch it not just on Saturday morning. So what a wonderful way to revisit or get to know the Science of Mind textbook. And meanwhile, We hope you have a wonderful week and affirm right here and right now that 2021 is blessed and perfect in all that it is. And we will get to see each other soon. So we love you and miss you. Please take care of yourselves. And thank you again so much, Reverend D. Jacquelyn. We loved your talk. And like I said, hope to have you back again. Let's close out with more music from Freddie Rodriguez Jr. Thank you.
Open up, love comes in. 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 Just to love and be loved. Open up, my soul is free. 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 Try and see. Try and see. Yeah. Open up, my dreams have wings. 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 They have wings. They have wings. Yeah. Open up, love comes in. 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 Just to love and be loved. Try and see. Try and see.